You finally got it. The thing you were sure would settle you. And for about a week, it did. Then the quiet came back. The same restlessness, wearing a new outfit. And underneath it, a small, embarrassing thought. What is wrong with me? Here's what no one tells you. Nothing is wrong with you. You are running exactly as you were designed to run. That is the problem. Your brain was never built to make you happy. It was built to keep you alive. And a creature that stays satisfied stops moving. Picture an old engine in a workshop. Not a car, just a machine with one job. Keep running. On the front, a single gauge, reading your fuel level. You've spent your whole life believing that gauge measures your happiness. It doesn't. It measures how far you'll go to reach the next thing. And the engineer who built it, a few 100,000 years of survival, made one deliberate choice. The needle can climb. It can almost touch full. But it is wired never to rest there. Watch what happens when you get what you want. The needle jumps. Relief. And then, slowly, it leaks back down to exactly where it started. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Research on lottery winners and paralysis survivors showed both drifting back toward their own baseline. Now, the strong version of that idea, that everyone snaps back to one fixed set point, has since been softened. Set points can move. Some wounds never fully fade. But the leak itself is real. Whatever you reach becomes the new floor you stand on. Now look closer at the jump. Here's the cruel part. The needle spikes hardest, not when you have the thing, but when you're closing in on it. Your brain runs two systems it quietly treats as one: wanting and liking. Dopamine runs the wanting. It fires on approach. Once a reward is predictable, it stops and moves to the next signal. The liking, the actual pleasure, is quieter, smaller, and fades fast. You are built to chase, far harder than you are built to enjoy. And the gauge is rigged in one last direction. Threat, loss, rejection. The engine screams. A win, a warm afternoon. It barely whispers. This is negativity bias, one of the most replicated findings in the field. Bad is simply weighted heavier than good. Not because you're a negative person, because the ancestor who ignored the low fuel alarm didn't become anyone's ancestor. So, it leaks on purpose, spikes on approach, screams at loss. Built, deliberately, never to let you rest. And here's the thing, it took me a long time to see. That engine is the reason you exist. Every ancestor who felt permanently satisfied sat down, stopped searching, stopped striving, and the line ends there. The restlessness you keep apologizing for is survival software, still running in a world it was never written for. It isn't a defect. It's the most successful design in the history of life. It just was never, for 1 second, aiming at your happiness. Which is exactly why the obvious fix fails. You decide, fine, one more achievement, one more upgrade, and this time the needle stays. But you already know how that ends. Chasing the needle to full is the single thing guaranteed to keep it leaking. You cannot out-acquire an engine built to reset. You can't rebuild the engine, but you can learn to read the gauge instead of obeying it. Here's the move, one move. When the pull hits, that urgent, certain feeling that the next thing will finally do it. Name it. Quietly, in words, This is the wanting, not the arriving. That's it. Neuroscience shows that putting a feeling into words, just labeling it, measurably loosens its grip. You're not suppressing the pull. You're reading the needle out loud instead of flooring the engine toward it. And in the space that opens, you get to do the one thing the machine never learned. Notice the fuel you already have before it leaks. Nothing's broken. You were only ever running.